Okay, so I come across this video by King Nico called The Final Experiment What's Up Now. In his video, he showed a comparison of the more recent appearance of a distinct peak at Union Glacier, Antarctica, when the mid-December 2024 trip took place to prove the mid-winter 24-hour Antarctic sun. King Nico claimed that his entire trip with Will Duffy and crew took place in a studio with LED screens, and that the background, including this mountain, was an image derived from an old photo. And for comparison, he shows a photo from the year 2016 that was taken at 3:33 p.m. When I initially saw this, I appreciated what I thought was more snow on this portion of the peak in the old photo. After viewing this live stream, I went to Union Glacier, Antarctica on Google Maps and started looking through photos, and soon I identified one of the photos that has the peak in it with a different snow pattern. This from November 2015. Again, here are the comparison images. Here's another image from December 2021. I found the image from 2019 to be very similar to the image from 2016, except the snow packing on this portion of the mountain is a little bit more. It's a little bit more there compared to here. We have another variant snowpack pattern here for this photo from 2017, and different compared to here in this other angle of a photo from 2017, and different here in this comparison photo from December 2021. And so I stopped watching this video. I came across this video by MrGematria, the title of which I can't say into Google. And so in this video, I learned actually I was supposed to go search through Google Images and not Google Maps to find the respective comparison image. So I'll play a segment here.
Like I said, but this mountain here, super fake mountain. They copied and pasted this mountain and everything else in the background. Like I said, matte painting. If you go to Google and do a search on Union Glacier Camp Mountain, and then click on images, if you scroll down to the image, this one right here that says Mountains of Travel Photos, click it, and it's the one that says 1198 times 800. Download it and save it to your phone, computer, whatever, before they remove it. This mountain, if I go to where I downloaded it, if I highlight it, it says date taken 11/27/2016 at 3:33 p.m. Now, if I go back to the mountain where Will Duffy is, okay, and then we're going to compare it to that mountain, you see it's the same mountain.
Okay, so he made that claim. So in the comments below, I stated, the mountains are not 100% the same. The leftmost peak has a little bit of snow on its right face compared to the video. They are very similar looking, so good not to ignore. But when I made that comment, I had not yet done the work myself of finding the image on Google Images and comparing it to the actual clip of the video. I needed to compare it to the video titled "Join the TFE Observation Army, We Need You" on the Final Experiment YouTube channel. So here's a vantage point where you can see most of the face of the mountain and get a sense of its snow pattern. Here's one example of a Google image result of the mountain. And then below, here's a comparison I showed you before. And so you can appreciate slightly different snowpacks on the face. There's an overall decreased amount of snowpack on this upper image. This is the key photo for comparison mentioned by MrGematria, Mountains of Travel Photos. When you look at the properties for this photo, you see its date is 11/27/2016, taken at 3:33 p.m. And so now I have the image pulled up overlaying on top of the video. You tell me if you think these are different. So let's look at the snowpack lines. Got this kind of area there, like that. Got this kind of area here. You have this little structure like this little structure here. This image is relatively blurred compared to this image, but the patterns of the snowpack, even to this detail of this little bit of snow here, appears very similar to this here. I see no differences actually. I do suspect what could be a possible difference here compared to here. However, this image is blurred, so it could be a loss of detail. And so on my direct comparison, I could appreciate that the blurring of this image causes an apparent loss of contrast that makes this appear grayer than it actually is in comparison to this part here. And so you have this little pattern here, which is similar here. It Because these are well-defined, steep, jagged surfaces, I imagine the snowpack can appear similar in these places year after year, but on this portion, flatter and less steep, winds can create more variation in how the snow settles. So all in all, do I know this was somehow faked in a studio? I can't say I know that. But just as many hold on to their globe, many others hold on to their flat pizza disc version of the Earth. The respective sides offer their analysis of this trip, observing any oddities. So far, a popular distraction or psyop of the Final Experiment trip has been the Vapegate, where this previous F-year named Witsit Gitsit, who goes by Austin, he decided to show to his audience that his breath is indeed cold to prove he's on location in a very cold place. His initial breaths had no fogging, so he turns the camera off, returns, turns the camera on again, breathes out some fog, and then continues to breathe with no more visible breath. So another angled camera showed him going back to this shed to get his gloves, though many speculate he could have gotten a vape. He comes back to the camera and breathes out. They Live Truth offers a good rundown of how this occurred. When breath precipitates in the cold air, it is expected to be something that continues. Multiple people have pointed out that Jeranism has a bricked background both for his channel logo as well as in his studio, and that this could be a Masonic reference. Though if true, I find this a rather small point, as people can choose to be deceptive regardless if they're in a brotherhood or not. Now, what's interesting to me is that Will was supposedly caught in this out of context clip found on the Level Earth Observer saying the following.
I beg you, we have to stop claiming that the 10 Commandments prohibit lying. That's not true. The 10 Commandments prohibit bearing false witness against your neighbor. Okay, we finally get to my conclusion on the matter of lying and deception, and that is this. After carefully looking at both sides of the debate, and after taking a very deep dive into everything I could possibly find in Scripture regarding lying and deception, I have come to the conclusion that neither lying nor deception are inherently immoral.
With the reasoning that only bearing false witness against your neighbor is immoral. I don't have the source clipping here. I can't even confirm if this is Will. There is a resemblance. Yeah, but this has been floating around, and if it is that person, I think that does cast some doubt on the motives of the Final Experiment organizers if this clip happens to not need additional context. In the 25-minute 360-degree time lapse of 24-hour Antarctic sun we've been given, there is some controversy concerning if the groomed snow is real snow or if there is some type of fill to look on, like traveled on snow. At 2 minutes 10 seconds, this individual appears not to leave a very prominent footprint. So you see that person just took a step, but there's no change there. I had done comparisons in this imaging over time. And so if you just compare certain points in time, so we'll go to 2 minutes 21 seconds, you see there may be some evidence of this person standing there when you compare that to, let's say, 147. So still something there, just not as much as at 220. Very little difference. So I'm not exactly sure if this is feigned, how it would be done. One possibility is a algorithm would add tracks after individuals walk in the area to make it seem traversed. To go to such lengths seems insane when you can just really go to Antarctica and record the 24-hour sun, assuming that's the case. But it's just what some people are speculating about. Unfortunately, a lot of social media circling about just showing him stepping like that, but not showing that there are changes in the snow over time. So you have like 102 compared to 410. So it does change and get more traversed over time. So to me, those are the main interesting points brought up in the FE counter narrative to the official story about the Final Experiment. We hear more corroborating information is coming to totally prove without equivocation that the sun does circle Antarctica for the winter solstice. If I see anything impressive on either side, I may do a follow-up video. Thanks for watching.